So Romelu Lukaku's apologised, has he? In what has got to be one of the most transparent and insincere apologies that I've ever seen, Romelu Lukaku has apologised. Who coached him? Prince Andrew. That was outrageous. It was so hollow, I can barely believe that they bothered to put it out. How have they not done that again? How have they not issued a retake there? That was so shoddy, so poor, so obvious. But we've been calling out for an apology. The apology has come. Transparent, yes it is. Is it enough to forgive? For me it isn't. Is it enough to forget? Absolutely not. Will I ever? No. But my message to Romelu Lukaku now is score some goals. Score some goals. Score against Tottenham, score against Man City. Chelsea's season is going to be defined by what happens in this January. It's so intense. We play Tottenham 3 times. We play Man City. We're going into our European adventure. We need Romelu Lukaku to demonstrate that he is the £100 million player, because as yet we haven't seen anything to suggest that he's worth a tenner. So my message to Lukaku is score some goals now. Let's draw a line under this. I personally, I'm still seething, to be frank. I'm seething. I am nowhere near forgiving, but I totally and utterly understand that we need Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku is the best striker at the club. That is equally a reflection on who Romelu Lukaku is and the other options. But Romelu Lukaku is the best striker at the club. If Chelsea's season is to end with any semblance of success, we are going to need Romelu Lukaku to get firing. We are going to need Romelu Lukaku to score some goals. This January is so intense, and the season is only going to get more and more intense from here on in. We have a struggle to make top 4. The days of looking up to Man City and hoping to claw back the lead, they're finished. We now need to be looking below us. We now need to be looking with slight trepidation at what Tottenham are up to, at what Arsenal are up to, maybe even at what West Ham are up to. So we need to pull away from the chasing pack. We need to secure top 4 qualification. And the best way for us to do that is for Romelu Lukaku to start firing and score some goals. We know that he can do it. We know that he has talent in him to do it. And I guess now the most sensible thing for Chelsea, and that is the only thing that matters here, is to draw a line under it. I personally won't have it in me to back Lukaku. I think he's clearly totally self-interested. His motivation is only himself. Any suggestion from previous interviews that he loved the club and he was dreaming of coming back and it was a club that he always wanted to play for from when he was a kid, following the footsteps of Didier Drogba, that was clearly twaddle. There was clearly no truth in that. He's a man who only cares about one thing, and that thing that he cares about is Romelu Lukaku. His own individual progression is the only thing that matters. But I suppose there is a world in which we can draw a parallel here, because I don't really care about Romelu Lukaku, but we have a common interest. Romelu Lukaku and I have a common interest, and that common interest is Chelsea. So if Lukaku cares about himself, his interest should align nicely with the interest of Chelsea. If he wants to go down as Premier League great, which he obviously won't, but if he wants to try and get into that conversation, his interests and the interests of Chelsea are completely aligned. The way that he can get into that conversation is to score loads of goals for Chelsea, and therefore Chelsea benefit. So I guess the best thing we can do now is draw a line under this incredibly sorry, totally unnecessary and fairly murky saga. Let's just draw a line under it. We don't need to forgive. We don't need to forget. Hopefully we can learn. But now the talking needs to happen on the pitch. Chelsea are playing Tottenham tomorrow. This is as big as it gets. Chelsea are playing Tottenham in the semi-final of the League Cup at Stamford Bridge. This is massive. The rivalry between the clubs shows you how big it is. Antonio Conte coming back to Stamford Bridge makes it even bigger. And the fact that Tottenham are resurgent, looking very good under Antonio Conte. The fact that they've kept 5 clean sheets under Antonio Conte baffles me and intimidates me in equal measure. And I'm nervous about this game. It's very rare that I go into a game against Tottenham where I'm at all nervous. So it doesn't sit comfortably at all. But with Romelu Lukaku leading the line, with the fire in his belly, hopefully with a point to prove, maybe that could be enough to secure a victory. And we need it. We need it. You know, the league has gone. The League Cup. Imagine winning the League Cup. It'd be fantastic. It'd be fantastic to lift more silverware in February. And I think we can do it. You know, I think we can do it. You've got big clubs left in it, but I think we can do it. So I'm really desperate to get the victory tomorrow. And effectively, we have to make like Faust, make a pact. And Romelu Lukaku is our best bet. Therefore, we need to back him on some level, I guess. It'd be interesting to see how Stamford Bridge reacts to his name being read out. I'm inclined to think that it won't be completely supportive. I'm inclined to think that people will be fairly sceptical, because I don't think that this apology was well managed at all. It didn't seem sincere. It didn't seem genuine. He seemed to be finding it fairly entertaining, and it just looked so pre-measured. It was so scripted. It was so obvious. I put a tweet out 24 hours ago that I said in the next 48 hours we're going to see a video come out where it is so obvious what has been going on. And I can't believe that that's what's happened. It's as if my tweet was the playbook. They've used my tweet where I was sort of ridiculing the obvious nature of what was going to happen, and they followed it. They followed it as if it were instruction. Shambolic. It's such a shame as well, because Romelu Lukaku was playing so well, scoring goals, obviously led us to victory against Villa. The entire away end at Villa was singing his name on that Boxing Day. It felt so good. And this entire saga completely unnecessary. But here we are. And I guess the best and sadly only thing we can do is now move on. So I'll be surprised if we hear Romelu Lukaku's name chanted at Stamford Bridge anytime soon. But equally, Romelu Lukaku's priority is himself. My priority is Stamford Bridge and Chelsea. And therefore, we have our own interests are co-aligned. So my message to Romelu Lukaku is, score some goals. Stop talking. Score some goals. And focus on Chelsea. The club who are paying you £60 million. The club who you are a record signing for. And the club who you've only been there for 4 months. And yet this is how you repay the people who pay your wages and the people who sing your name and the people who have adored you ever since you arrived. Now's the time to let your football do the talking. We'll see how that goes, I guess. Hopefully this is the last video of this nature that we'll have to do, because this has been grim, so unnecessary, and so easily avoided. But what can you do, eh? Gutted that it came to this. But yeah, my message is score some goals, and that's the end of it, really. I've got no love whatsoever. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like. Please click subscribe. And remember, for the rest of your days, go easy, step lightly, and stay free. Ta-da.